Hello Commanders, welcome back to the channel and another Elite Dangerous video. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. I haven't made an Elite Dangerous video for quite a long time. The reason for that is, quite honestly, I was waiting for Odyssey to come out. I'd pretty much achieved everything it was possible to achieve in Horizons, and I was really looking forward to Odyssey and some new content, but obviously that didn't happen. So why now? Why wait almost a year to make a video about your frustrations with the consoles? Well, with the release of Update 9 and with Arthur's end of year message talking about things to look forward to in 2022, and without a single mention of console development, with the exception of a livestream comment in which he said, "There is no news to give you," I've finally decided to speak up on the matter. Now, I'm not exactly your Obsidian or your Yamex with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but the loyal subscriber base to this channel, most of which are console players for Elite, I believe we deserve a voice. With Frontier releasing the Scorpion in Update 9, something which has been requested since pretty much 2015, hundreds of times on the forums, I believe their excuses for not developing or not talking about the console release are wearing thin, because they're no longer fixing game-breaking issues, they're actually adding really good content. So let's take a little step back in time and have a look at the timeline of what happened, where they went wrong, and what they could have done different. So Odyssey launched in May 2021, and it's fair to say the PC launch didn't go very well. There were many problems, but the most severe of which, reported right at the beginning, was that the frame rates, even on high-end machines, was really quite poor, to the point where some players were describing playing the game as a slideshow. As a result of this, FDev decided to postpone the release of the consoles whilst they fixed the issues with the PC version, and to be fair, that was a right thing to do under those circumstances. But one of the reasons they stated for the really poor performance graphically, at the very least, is that they had not anticipated how many hardware builds Commanders would try to play Odyssey on. Now, when you compare that to the consoles, which have got 2 builds, it makes no sense to try and fix a configuration error for 100, 1,000 different configurations on PC, when you could easily launch 2 builds for Xbox and PlayStation. Commander, but I hear you say, neither the Xbox or the PlayStation have the specs to run Elite Dangerous Odyssey. However, I'm not entirely sure that's true, and here's why. On the 21st of May, CEO David Braben took to the official Elite Dangerous forums to say the following: "Some of our players are reporting poor performance on machines where we would expect performance to be good. Others are saying it's fine. We are trying to get to the bottom of this. I have been playing on my old home machine from 2014, and he goes on to list those machine specs. The specs as described in the forum post are not as good or equal to what can be achieved on a PlayStation and an Xbox, and if he's having good performance with those specs, it stands to reason that a PlayStation and an Xbox could have run the game absolutely fine in terms of graphical performance and frame rates at the very least. And whilst this may not have fixed other issues, such as the Planet Tech not performing correctly, at least you would have had a subsection of the player base reporting on and talking about the game, at least in a good light." But as we know, that's not what happened. What happened was, shortly after the first couple of updates for Odyssey, FDev told us that the console versions of the game were being put on hold indefinitely, and no more work would take place on them until issues with the PC had been resolved. So now, as we approach the end of 2021, the game is still not out on console. There's no prospect of it coming out on console, at least not anytime soon, and almost every time FDev post on Facebook, on Twitter, on any type of social media, their comments are absolutely chock-a-block full of frustrated console players saying, "We're missing out, it's not fair, when's it coming out, why are you ignoring us?" And the response is always the same: absolutely nothing, no response at all. Now, as frustrating as the situation is, what's done is done, it can't be changed, so let's not cry too much over spilt milk, and let's talk about what can be done in future so FDev can give better comms to the console players. Why don't they tell us what milestones, what goals have to be achieved before they will start to develop the console? What date are they next scheduled to review whether or not they start developing for the console? Anything except an information blackout would be welcome. FDev really needs to understand how frustrated the console players are. They're seeing our PC counterparts get to see everything first, get to discover everything first, get to play all of the new content first. And whilst there is an element of the player base that will say, well, the galaxy has got 4 trillion stars and we've currently mapped only 1% of it, we're not talking about finding a generic, procedurally generated brown dwarf star at the top end of the Milky Way galaxy. We can find that at any time. We're talking about hand-built, story-driven, made content by FDev that everybody else except us is currently getting to experience. Because by the time Odyssey comes out on console, assuming it ever comes out on console, the game is already going to feel old because we have seen it all. It's been covered by virtually every PC content creator there is. They've filmed it, explained it, slapped a piece of merch on it, and it's already old before we've even picked it up. So what's next? I am going to post this video in as many Elite Dangerous social media places as I can, including Facebook, Reddit, and the Elite Dangerous official forums. I am, of course, well prepared and well geared up for the barrage of hate I will get from the PC players telling me I'm wrong, my points are invalid, which is fair play. You make a video like this, you are prepared for the feedback that you're going to get. If you are a console player and you agree with me, comment on the video, like the video, comment on the forum post, anything at all to make this as popular as possible to get the attention of Frontier and FDev. We will almost certainly never be able to get them to develop the console version faster than they are going to otherwise, but we might be able to get them to talk about it and give us some information about it, which is really what we're after. All we're trying to say is, don't forget us, respect us, tell us what's going on. We want to give you our money. We want to play the game, but you just won't let us. Anyway, that's enough for this video. Even though I don't make content for Elite anymore, I do still play the game. As you can see, I'm doing milk runs for Rubigo to feed the beast that is my carrier, and hopefully I might see some of you out there. Until then, catch you later.